Hello, my name is Matthew Kay.
And I'm Joshua Hanlon.
And we're here at BrickFair New England 2015, and we're going to take you for a little bit of a tour of the convention hall. Now, we're not going to be able to cover everything, but we might actually be able to cover everything because it's not the biggest convention in the world, but we're going to definitely try and give you a little bit of an insight into what this convention is exactly like. Now, first off, let's take a moment to appreciate the fact that these are the restrooms, very nice restrooms, but now let's start looking at some actual LEGO creations. So I guess first off, we will take a look at this lovely little winter base.
Yeah, it's like, I think this is the South Pole or North Pole, one of them, and it's just a recreation of the winter base there that's at the pole, and it's really well done. Lots of great tiling work.
And as you can see, the snow is being recreated by flower pellets, little flower pieces taken off of the sprue, of course. A wonderful, wonderful build.
Plus, the builder included a lot of good information on this build as well, so it's nice you can kind of learn something while you look at it.
So we have a really cool photos section over here.
Then keep moving down here. This is the mixed section, so you've got all sorts of a really big variety of builds. Here's a really nice lighthouse. This is definitely one of the better lighthouses I've seen. Some great rock work leading up to it. Sorts of cool stuff.
It's really nice to see how the staircase kind of curves up and around the rocks. It's very, very, I mean, you do see that kind of stuff in real life, so it's awesome that they're able to kind of render that out.
Definitely, yeah. Keep moving down here. You've got this great boat here, some cool sails, kind of got the oars going on with those Technic pieces.
Definitely a nice little ice fishing. It looks like an ice fishing shack almost, or a little iced over pond. Very representative of the New England region.
For sure. And then it's just kind of a lantern, kind of a big lantern build, I believe, right here. So that's interesting.
Another little, this is like a snowy kind of scene, a trek through the tundra. Very nice. An interesting airship over here.
Yeah, it's kind of just the bones of the airship, it seems like. I don't know. They needed to cover it up a little bit.
Maybe it's not unfinished. Maybe that's just like, it's like unfinished for a reason.
Yeah.
Or it's just supposed to be cool.
It's powered by Tesla's tower in the early 1900s.
Of course. And then here we have a nice little town layout.
This is very, very populated with a lot of minifigs and a lot of stuff going on here.
You can see there's some nice parts dumping going on. Now, parts dumping is when you just take a bunch of a Lego part and sort of dump it out. Surprising. But this is the trans blue jewel element, I believe I just might have flubbed that. Very, very interesting town here. A couple of Lego sets I see just off the top of my head. I see isn't that the new grocery store way in the back there? The Creator grocery store set. Very nice Lego set. I myself recently acquired that. I'd just like to point that out. Very cool, very cool.
And then keep moving down here, you've got kind of the
nice little airport. Got a couple of airplane sets.
And then let's see here. This is a very interesting. It's very hard to describe what this builder has. He's got all these creations here for quite a while, and they're really big and interesting to look at. Lots of cool colors. He's got some Duplo mixed in, but it's just all sorts of creations. You can see here that how would you describe them, Matthew?
I mean, it is like the most calorically diverse range of Lego creations that I've seen at a Lego convention, maybe ever. Here we have a lovely crab, is what it appears to be. Very, very nice crab. And what it appears to be is also said in the name tag right there, so that's kind of cool too.
And then a glass spider. This is cool. It's kind of this
trans-clear, like light blue, all these nice elements. And
there's a robot thing in the back.
That robot.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's that new color of green too. It's a really nice color green. And you can see that he's incorporating like system elements and kind of
like a steampunk walker almost kind of thing here.
Yeah, these cool boat holes.
Yeah, very nice. So let's see, and then keep moving down here. You've got the kind of a dome thing here.
Yeah, look at this. These are the two windows from that Arctic helicopter set, I believe. And so those two windows are being used as like the face of it. And then if you look inside, it's like he's like done something to suggest that there's like an eye there. That's absolutely fantastic. But all of these creations are sort of like these big pieces that are really awkward to use, like these boat holes, and they're all used in ways that actually kind of make them. I don't know. It's like I never really would have thought of that, but he has. So
yeah, this builder does a good job.
Fantastic.
With that. So we've got some more of his builds down here. This is the biggest one.
Yes,
there's like
residential biodome.
Several different buildings here
inside of a building.
Got the whole dome over it. some doors here at the opening to kind of let people in.
So this is the residential biodome. So I guess it would be like like a contained environment on space or something like that.
Got your wildlife and things growing in there, all within the dome.
A couple skyscrapers, some trees. Very, very, very cool.
Then what is this? Like a microfigure moon base. So it's got kind of a little dome areas
like
for them to move through.
Microfigures from the Lego game sets, I believe.
Yeah, and some more of the same builder's work. You've got some kind of bigger mecha kind of things.
And then you can almost see, I think that this over here looks like a smaller test version of this larger dome. Like it has the same, sort of triangulations and stuff.
That's true. I think he was probably trying out different designs. Finally, I think we've got several more builders from the same builder. One is this red, I guess this would be a spaceship right here. It's got some interesting kind of tentacles almost going off of it.
It almost defies gravity, you know?
It's like a ring space station is what the builder calls it.
That way it kind of can curve out like that.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that is very, very interesting. And then behind it, that house is awesome with the pillars, the rock, and a waterfall going underneath it.
And he's found a really good way to use those like awkwardly massive, curved kind of base plate pieces, that came in like those sets from the 90s, Friends, Belleville.
Belleville type of sets. Then this little house in front here is really cool as well, with the rounded kind of look to it. It's almost like a letter P there on the left side.
That is so crazy looking. The curvature, the way he was able to get the windows to kind of mimic the curvature of this dark tan element is really, really cool.
And then keep moving down some more from the same builder. This is like an underwater kind of yellow base with a whole actually it says spacecraft and bright light orange.
Bright light orange. So that's a wonderful. Once again, just a really random and kind of rare color.
Yeah.
And he's been able to acquire a decent amount of it and do something crazy with it. And then the juxtaposition, I guess, of the bright light orange with that dark blue or dark trans blue, I guess would be the term. Once again, just a fascinating color palette that really kind of takes everything to the next level, I guess.
For sure, it's a really awesome build.
And continuing with crazy colors.
Yeah, we've got this build right here, actually, this interstellar mobile home can lift off and becomes a spaceship of its own. It's got a kitchen in there. We were talking to the builder earlier about it. It's really awesome. So these builds all have cool kind of moving parts and stuff like that.
Yeah, or like some kind of functionality that's exposed when you like lift up something or pull something.
And then finally, I think the final build from this builder is one that has several Duplo trees and pieces mixed in. Kind of, is that some kind of purplish color?
That's like what is that? I personally don't want to say the name of the color because I'm sure I'll get it wrong, but a very rare light purplish color.
Something along those lines.
I'm sure Bricklink will tell you something very specific.
But it's mixed in with the orange trans clear kind of window pieces, so it's really, really nice. He's got even the big giant orange pieces in there.
And did we mention the Duplo trees in the back already? And the lots of other different Duplo elements I can kind of see, like the Duplo vine chains to the left there. But just kind of crazy build. You got Duplo, you got crazy colors of purple, you got crazy colors of trans orange.
Very good job. Those were all from the same builder there, so he did an awesome job with those. So moving in here, we've got some more traditional type of builds here. These are kind of old ruins, kind of churches, maybe some smaller buildings, castle type builds here. And then what else we got here?
This looks like the paths of the lost.
Kind of going up to building there, all sorts of small little vignettes.
Really nice detail work. Lots of cool detail work.
Okay, and then
lots of little interesting vignettes here. Really cool stuff.
Keep moving down here. We got some bigger builds. This is the Dragon Gate restaurant on the left here, kind of an Asian Chinese maybe type restaurant.
Certainly. It looks like it's one of those they cook in front of you.
Yeah, it's actually really cool. And they got the chefs there. Is that a collectible minifig? The lady there, I think?
Oh, yes. Japanese style collectible minifig, female.
Very cool. This is a cake here. It's called The Cake is a Lie. I'm not sure what the story behind that is. They said they made it for a first LEGO League anniversary, so I wonder if there's something inside there. There's a story there, but it is an interesting looking cake either way.
Apparently the cake is in fact a lie.
Keep going down here. You've got all sorts of Arctic vehicles.
Very, very cool Arctic vehicles. Nice background there. Cool.
You see the builder hard at work here.
Builder in action. That is a builder in action.
Getting ready for the public. Here's the Crater View Restaurant and Lounge. So at the top there, you can see in the windows, that's a little restaurant there at the top of this big tower, which is very interesting, kind of a space.
Very cool moon-based module.
Yeah, and they kind of merged it with some of the modulars over here.
And this is by Mike Ripley. Now, this Cafe Corner moon-based module, I believe I myself witnessed this at a previous BrickFair, BrickFair 2009 in Virginia. So this may or may not have been around for quite a while. Don't quote me on those dates, but nonetheless, just a nice interpretation of what is now a classic Lego set in moon-based form.
You got kind of builds the bubbles around it to protect the people out in space. That works really well.
People should do this more often. Take a town building and then just kind of moon-basitize it.
So that was Mike Ripley. Moving down here, we've got some builds from Andy Price. He went for kind of a funny effect with some of these. So like, here's Hamlet's new apartment.
So to be or not, not to be.
It's got kind of some humor in the build there. That's the big question. Next to that, you'll see a Monty Python Ministry of Silly Walks build. So all sorts of funny, humorous builds. Then he's got the American Gothic famous painting there.
And it's like the Lego version or something. It's almost like a hanging postcard kind of thing. Or what do they call them? Shadow boxes?
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool.
Keep moving down here. Got some smaller vignettes. Little build, giraffe dance party. Okay, that's an interesting build.
Rainbow giraffes are awesome! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point.
I think all three were necessary in this case.
Yes. With absolute certainty. Oh, an interesting Micropolis campus by Daniel Picora? Daniel Picora.
Picora?
Very interesting, very interesting. And take a brick separator, leave a brick separator, like that take a penny, leave a penny. Since now brick separators appear in every Lego set that you buy ever, I guess they are now diminished to the value of a penny.
Basically, I think that's how a lot of builders view them.
And look.
So starting here, we've got a very long stretch from Bionolog of Bionicle builds, and all sorts of builders built this stuff, and you can see they crowded the table all the way down here, all sorts of cool Bionicle builds. Starting with this first one right here is pretty large. This is the big red kind of mecha type Bionicle build.
Artaka is the name of it.
The names are very hard to pronounce on a lot of these. So
the Polynesian vibe.
You'll see a lot of stuff laid out on the tables. They're still setting up a lot of this Bionicle stuff, so it's not always the best laid out yet at this point. But, you know, a lot of cool stuff here still to see. So keep moving down here.
Oh, look, this is a raised base plate, I see.
Some type of build on there. I'm assuming they put maybe some Bionicle builds on top.
Maybe that's like the platform for it or something. Oh, look, this is like the Scales of Justice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to touch it because you can't do that at a Lego convention.
That is a good idea.
But
don't touch.
Scale of Justice, Bionicle Scale of Justice, that's kind of awesome.
This is another big... Greg Richards built this big green one here as well. Towering almost 20 inches tall, so very cool. Some more
lovely Bionicle creations, all kinds of different interesting figures, you know. Very, very interesting.
Get some lots of nice mock cards. I'm glad they describe what each one is for people who might not be familiar with it.
Certainly. And then I think now maybe time to take a chance to shout out to Andrew Boltop for bringing some of these creations here with him. And here we see the Bionolog Mosaic. Now, Bionolog is unique in the fact that they kind of send their creations around the country in like a sort of a traveling tour. And so you necessarily don't have to be here to have your creation on display here because Andrew comes and some other representatives of the Bionicle community come, they kind of set up the creations for other members. So it's a really cool way to kind of allow a person that maybe doesn't have access to a Lego convention to kind of display their stuff on the floor.
Oh yeah,
very
and
cool.
With Bionicle rising in popularity here with Lego re-releasing it, then it's cool that they can still display all that because people are getting back into it.
Certainly.
So here's the Bionicle socket color chart again by
Daniel Pacora.
We'll figure it out one of these times.
I don't know how to say that name. I'm sorry, Daniel. And here's an interesting. This is a Bionicle steam engine. Because
want that?
Why would you build a steam engine of anything else but Bionicle?
Yeah,
and some more wonderful creations. Is this Kevin Hinkle with some? Are those kitty cats or are those puppies?
Doesn't matter.
Maybe they're puppies. Maybe they're kitty cats. I guess Kevin Hinkle just got caught up in a tornado with his two lovely puppies. Oh well, it happens all the time. And then there's Emmett. Aww.
All sorts of cool stuff there. Cows, trees.
It looks like that might be a motorized tornado, so have to check back on that later.
Superman and Lex Luthor in this nice tower build. I think it looks like it might move as well. Kind of spin around, having them chasing each other. So, major villains there. Then here's a big BZ Power mosaic that I think actually fell earlier today off the table, and so they had to fix it up a bit and tape it.
It's been taped to prevent further fallings.
Try to avoid any more incidents with that mosaic.
And then we have
really
the
cool.
BZ Power guest book here, so this is maybe sent around to different BZ Power conventions. So look, we can actually take a chance to appreciate the different people that have signed in here. So we got Black Six, Maryland, we got Shiloh here. And then if we take a look back to the BZ Power guest book from Brick Universe 2015 in Raleigh, North Carolina, we can see that Matthew, Raleigh iHeart Bionicle was here. I wonder who that Matthew would be. But very cool that they have this guest book. I think that's an awesome addition to kind of throw that in. Very, very cool.
Keep a record of who all was at the convention.
Gotta keep track of everybody that comes, you know.
So this finishes out the Bionicle for us here. This table, different builders here going on. So all sorts of some cool stuff here. So that's the Bionicle stuff. Like we said, really lots of stuff that they display at these BrickFair events. And then moving on down here, this is a big Viking display. First we've got this cool World War I build. This is the 100th anniversary this year of World War I. So this is the Flanders Fields red poppies field with the white crosses. Really cool little build here. It's got the poem there and the tiles.
Very eloquently displayed with the dark green background and the very nice cloth here. So really nice kind of a touchstone to kind of think about the past in a thoughtful way.
Nice tribute there to the 100th anniversary. So keep moving down the rest of the build here. You've got the Viking display, so you can see the houses. Train track goes all around, and the Viking boat can ride around on the train track. And then he's got magnets throughout there so stuff can move around while the build's going. So very, very cool build here. You might have seen this in past tours as well. This has been at quite a few conventions over the years.
Now, when you see these this will be like a mobile or something like that, you can kind of, sort of take the time to think, oh, well, maybe that's not Lego, and so maybe it's not Lego string, but these, in fact, are Technic axle elements. That's crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty amazing. He gets all sorts of Lego stuff in this build. And then down here you can see inside the buildings a little bit as well. The beds, food, barrels of food. So that's really cool. So we'll keep moving. Here's Matthew consulting the BrickFair minifigs.
So this is part of the stuff that makes BrickFair kind of awesome, is these kind of figures sort of just kind of cover up the maybe not so pretty electrical equipment, and maybe they don't do the greatest job of actually covering it up, but very cool to kind of have these to look at. Just visually interesting is the word.
Mm-hmm. They put those throughout the building to cover up anything that you might not want people to see. So we'll move back down this way then and show you some more of the builds we've got here. Starting with nice little train layout build here. It's got some raised track there. It looks like they might be working on this still a little bit more.
The world's smallest bridge. Look at that. It's just like a pipe almost.
It's like a 1 or 2 brick high arch there.
This is a really nice tree technique. No, it's not really even a technique. It's just like a tree, but to take the time to make it white with the little black rings, it represents. I'm not going to say the specific type of tree. Is that a birch tree? Something like that. But it looks like a real tree. Very cool.
He's actually got a really good variety of trees here. You look, there's 3 or 4 different kinds just in this one build that he does.
The palm leaves are really good at representing like a kind of a longleaf pine sort of aesthetic. Mm-hmm. Very, very cool.
So cool little train build there. Here's some really massive spaceships. I don't think these are built or based on any particular spaceship, but just kind of some really cool things the builder came up with his imagination, using like a red, gray, white color scheme. Cool weapons on top of there. So very nice. Quite long, several feet long, most of these builds. He's got a whole fleet of them.
Very nice spaceship. No, we are not very big sci-fi fans, so maybe they are based on a very, very popular series from a very popular TV show, or maybe they're not. We don't know, because Josh and I we watch documentaries, but we don't really watch TV shows or pay attention to lots of popular media.
Oh, pretty much, yeah. So we're just in the dark on this one, but we'll keep moving down this way, and see what we can do here. Here's these tables are. This is just kind of random brick. You can just be creative. See what this guy here is doing, putting together pieces, coming up with things all on his own. Imagination.
I made a square.
Okay, see, look at anything is possible here at BrickFair. So this is kind of for the public to come and
Anything's possible.
come and play with. Down here we've got the GBC. So this is the whole square here. We'll show you one side of the GBC here. You might have seen some of our GBC videos in the past. Some really cool builds. You've got the Ferris wheel kind of look here. Try not to touch the build there. But
I didn't touch it. I did not touch it.
You can see the balls on top of each rung of the Ferris wheel move down here. Now it's not running right now, but you can get a look at what it looks like even not running. All the different modules, move the balls along, and then all sorts of cool different builds, a lot of different colors. They try to keep it looking pretty cool.
We've got a nice knee lug minifigure right here, and now this is the New England LEGO Users Group, so this is like the home lug right now since we are in New Hampshire. Very, very cool.
And we'll keep going down here this is the military section down here, so see what cool military builds we got here starting off. This is kind of an interesting little military diorama, all sorts of like custom built tanks, some mechs, soldiers, cool armor and stuff fighting there.
Now, in my opinion, this is probably one of the weirdest pre-molded pieces that LEGO has ever made, and this is the pre-molded hovercraft piece. So, go figure. But that's a very nice hovercraft to be built on that pre-molded piece.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and those builds are really nice. The green, kind of olive green color, and really cool boat, hovercraft. Then you've got kind of a SWAT truck kind of thing almost there. Works really well with those colors.
And then here's sour cream and some salsa. Okay.
And then this is I'm not sure. Let's see what military operation is this. This was a German counteroffensive on the Eastern Front late in Western Lithuania in 1944. So it looks like there's some serious military efforts going on in that build.
Chicken suit man on a surfboard. Serious military action.
The Allies should watch out for that. Now this is a really awesome build here, with apparently some Mexican intervention taking place with the man on the horse. This is the Battle of Lexington and Concord. All sorts of, you can kind of see the Americans hiding in the bushes, shooting at the redcoats as they go by. That's a really awesome build. I like how they did that. Cool hats, bayonets, all sorts of good stuff there. And you keep moving around this way.
This is a really cool Lego pencil case. I myself have never seen this before until just now, but really cool to have this kind of a Lego branded product. And then maybe not using it for pencils, but they got some minifig stuff in there. So that's very awesome.
Mm-hmm. So as you can see, there's some stuff still being worked on here. We'll come around here and then show you the other side of the military stuff here. So here's kind of a nice little military diorama. What do we got? Like a helicopter. We've got some soldiers going through the field there.
That's a celebrity, I believe. I'm not sure what celebrity that is, but they have his image there being paid tribute to. So that's very cool. And then there's a helicopter that's just landing, and then there's a guy there's a pit with a man in it, and then there's the tower that's red, and it has strings to stabilize it because it's like a broadcast tower. And then there's some very nice little spindly trees here.
See some men in the trees there, I think, attacking the helicopter.
So I myself am not really aware of what this is exactly meant to represent, but who knows? There's a helicopter, we got a broadcast tower, a man in a crater, and a celebrity.
So we'll just leave it at that then. So keep moving down here for the rest of the military builds. So there are a whole bunch, I think, all by the same builder. These are tanks, all sorts of military vehicles here, maybe some little vignettes. You've got some Russian, some German, really nice KV-1 build, Panzer IV, all sorts of classic cool tanks.
Really, really solid designs.
Mm-hmm. Some planes here as well. So finish out here, and then we'll come back this other direction. Got some helicopters, and I think that finishes out the military stuff for us then. We'll come back this direction and keep going here. Second to...
So now I think we're going to go and take a look at the GBC layout, or at least the rest of the GBC layout.
This is the other side of the GBC layout here. So you can see some more of the modules. Like I said, it's not going, but You can at least get a nice look at the job. Here's one with some cool wheels. I believe Stuart Roll, the builder of that, said that those wheels are the only ones that LEGO has made that you can get the GBC balls to go through the spokes as you move them.
And then this is a robot arm here. Very nice. This is probably one of the crazier GBC modules in the world, but it is just a robot arm. And it takes balls and it moves them, but it does all these really intricate motions while doing so. And Stuart Roll also pointed us earlier, he made the point to mention to us that several of these modules are actually inspired by a famous Japanese builder that I am unfortunately not able to remember the name.
Akiyuki? Might be mispronouncing that.
Something to that effect, yes. So very interesting. They're able to kind of take inspiration from such a talented builder and kind of reinterpret it for their own uses. Very, very cool.
And that's something they said, is that a lot of GBC is going online, finding builders that you like and modules that you like, and then kind of copying them just to get ideas of your own, and then you can expand from there. So they really encourage that with GBC building. So you can kind of see some of the last modules here and some train track. We'll come back this direction. You can see these tables again where Matthew built his famous square. See if you can come up with anything here quickly with his imagination while we go by the table here. Is there any other pieces of brilliance you can come up with?
I made a square.
Now, see, I feel like you copied yourself there. Is that allowed?
I might have copied myself. I'm sorry.
We'll allow it this time. So, moving on back down here. This is, some of you might remember this when you were kids, growing up. What is this from
the 90s?
Yeah, the 90s.
Yes, if you were kids in the 90s, then yes.
You've got, this is
Raiders.
Old Rock Raiders, yeah, and this is tons of the sets. This might be every set ever. This might be every Rock Raiders set ever.
Very good chance. Now, there's one of the best things about Rock Raiders, in my opinion, first off, is the rocks, of course, and also rock monsters. But then after that, I think, and maybe before that, honestly, is I believe this is the color azure, or a very beautiful color of like bluish green. So it didn't come out in too many Lego elements, but just a wonderful, wonderful color.
Yeah, and also the crystals as well. You got the green crystals, all sorts of cool pieces like that in there.
And
so
it's interesting to note
moving on down here, got this is this? Oh, I think this might be the Rock Raiders, like a movie or a video talking about
I believe this is the Rock Raiders Wikipedia page or Brickopedia page. Yeah, Wikipedia page.
So I guess if people aren't familiar with the theme, they have that here. And so that people can learn a little bit more about it while not messing up their technology.
Yes. It's an interesting display idea to tape a tablet to, I believe that's very 2015.
Yeah.
The tablet's taped to a stanchion.
So then we'll come back down this direction here. Start with these buildings right here. This is, I believe, the New England lug display here. So these were done by a wide assortment of different builders. This was the New England lug display, right?
That's a wonderful model of a beautiful, beautiful post office.
Yeah. Yeah, and several of these are based on real buildings as well. So you might recognize if you live in the area.
Now, I think something that we should take the moment to kind of appreciate very quickly is these broad curves. So this is like when you take straight tracks and then you flex them to the maximum that they can, but we'll still retaining, because this is 9-volt track electrical connectivity, but just to kind of have those really broad curves so that the trains can take them at a higher speed than if it was to be an actual Lego curve. So really, really cool broad curves there.
Yeah, and this is a great display for many. Like, I don't know how many members there are, but there's a lot that contribute to this, so it's really cool.
And once again, this is knee lug, so this is the the home lug here, since we are in New Hampshire. So I guess they're showing up and they're doing a fantastic layout.
Yeah, very nice. So keep moving down here. This is the beginning of the pop culture display. So this is going to be a lot of video games, movies, things like that, things from pop culture. This first build is from Destiny. So it's kind of a whole city layout from the video game Destiny, if you've heard of that.
Very interesting terrain. They have a nice little subtle kind of changes in elevation. It's very, very nice, and interesting buildings too.
Yeah, the building structures they didn't just copy the same for every building. They kept it interesting, all sorts of...
Yeah, they're all not the same color of gray, and they don't have the same color of windows.
Maintaining the same color in windows while making the design differently.
Spatially different, of course, yes.
So, keep moving down here. You'll see maybe a couple more Destiny builds. Here's something from the Weathertop interpretation. You got some Lord of the Rings Hobbit stuff. You'll see a lot of Batman-type builds, comic book builds, Gotham rooftops. Gotham City Police Department.
Very nice, like stonework / brickwork / stonework / wallwork right here. Batman versus the Joker.
Really cool, kind of darker red pieces for that. And then down here you can see some custom minifigs here. This is from all sorts of Star Wars, Assassin's Creed, video games, Destiny, all sorts of things here. Some Batman. You've got Lego weapons, kind of like life-size weapons.
The Lego pistol.
Very cool. And then here's a series of Star Wars builds. So this is really clean kind of Star Wars build. A lot of tiling and things. You don't see that very often. Usually there's a lot of destruction and stuff going on, explosions. But it's much cleaner than your average Star Wars build. It's based off, that's actually based off a map from Star Wars Battlefront 2 is what the card says. So if you've played the game, you might recognize that. And moving on down, got a couple more Star Wars builds, and then another, this is during Clone Wars build here. So kind of some scouting, little battle group there with a lot of foliage.
Nice use of plant stems to represent grass.
Yeah, really nice little build here. Here is, this is some Halo builds by Sean Cassidy. So really great builder. He's built some really cool stuff over the years, a lot of Halo stuff. And this is actually a new build that he displayed for the first time here at this show.
So very nice, lots of using that profile element, 1x2 profile brick in dark tan. Very, very cool.
This is from Halo 2, I believe, so you might recognize that if you've played the game. And then keep moving down here. We've got the Mini-Con, and Mini-Con is something you'll probably have seen in some of our past tour videos. It's a mini. How would you describe the Mini-Con?
So it's supposed to be like a mini land scale version representation of the LEGO Convention floor plan. So tables are laid out that are representative of the floor plan of the LEGO Convention Hall, and then people are invited to contribute scale versions of their builds that they've contributed to the convention to the actual Mini-Con layout. So it's a really cool, like almost like life imitating art, or meta, I guess you could say, representation of the convention hall. Either way, just a very nice element of visual interest to have here. And so you can see the play element, the play tables that we were messing around with earlier are rendered here in Miniland form.
And also, you'll see some of the areas, some of the builds and things. There's the spaceships we showed you earlier, little micro versions.
This is the Rock Raiders layout right here. You see that lovely color of blue screen.
Some of the big buildings from the AnyLug display there, skyscrapers and stuff. So this is a really neat idea, and they've got all sorts of little fun details for you to find in here. So then keep moving along here. We'll take you around the other end of the Mini-Con here, so you can see all the white tables, and I think it's still being set up. So
and over there, that big pile of parts, that's not a mistake. They've just thrown some parts down on the table, quite literally, to allow people to kind of come up and build some of the creations that they've brought in Miniland form. So if you didn't actually bring a Miniland scale build already, you can go over there and make one for yourself. Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Very nice. So we'll then take you around here. This appears to be some robotics type stuff. They've got some stuff set up on the ground here. You can see several Technic type builds, I think, set up to show the public how that works. So some cool robotics things there for the public to see. Then here's a few castle builds. This is the Titan of Bravos, I believe it's called. I think it's from a Game of Thrones. This is a really awesome build. The builder did a great job. I think those slopes are new. I have a relatively new piece, I believe.
I believe that's the new forlong curvature piece. So really, really nice use of different slopes there to kind of get a really great effect going.
Yeah. Very cool. The shield, everything on it, the armor is just excellently done. That's Steve Morrison. Shout out to Steve for a really, really nicely done build there. Keep going here. We've got a Lord of the Rings build that I think it's been done several times. It's a popular build to do with Lego.
Highly popular build. A wonderful castle here.
And then a little kind of Viking diorama. You don't see Viking kind of huts and things like that real often.
It was a theme, an actual Lego theme, but I guess it just never really, people don't maybe really feel an affinity for Vikings. I guess the whole raiding and pillaging thing maybe
that turns some people away.
A little turn off. But either way, really nice roof design here. The sort of interlacing plate elements is what it looks like. Very, very cool.
Yeah. So now we'll take you down the other side of the pop culture booth. Start off with this is a tree from the Legend of Zelda Nintendo 64 game. So if you played that, you might remember this tree, a really large build. It appears to have an actual face on it, so that's very interesting. And
then moving on down here, we can see that there is a structure inside of this. So it's all underwater, right?
Yeah, so you can see that this is a church underwater. The steeple on top there with the cross, and then the rest of it is actually under the water, which is a really different build. You don't see that type of thing very often. Interesting that the builder decided to do it that way, with kind of the trans-clear, like blue pillars to make the water.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
And then move down this way here, and here's some more of those minifigs we showed you earlier, kind of blocking the speakers. Keep those stuff out of the way. So this is the pop culture stuff. So like I said, you'll see a lot of Batman and comic book stuff. You've got the Batcave, you've got the Flash there to the right of it. And then this is some Dune. Several Dune builds here from the novel Dune. Some of the little spaceships.
That's the giant worm.
Yeah, the giant worm build here. Very impressive. That worm is incredible to look at. Look right down there at all the teeth and everything. It's actually, the builder on the card says it's the 50th anniversary of Dune, so I think that's why he did several of the builds here. Here's Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, the car from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, if you've seen that.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
So,
very cool car.
Yeah.
And then here we see a base plate with a Star Wars creation on it, and a tan Star Wars creation further back. And then this is a trans-clear, I guess this would be like, what, Wonder Woman's jet or something?
Invisible jet, yeah. So you aren't supposed to be able to see it.
So that is awesome, because it is using all trans-clear Lego elements. And some of those are a little bit rarer, because certain Lego elements are molded in trans-clear as a test color only. So some of these elements are only available from illicit sources in the region of Denmark, or wherever Lego's molding facility is located. And then here we see Batman and Robin kind of getaway vehicle.
Classic Batmobile look.
Classic Batmobile look, and then those are the keychain, light-up keychain figures instead of being just a normal minifigure. So it's like a car that's built at a bigger scale using keychain minifigures instead of real ones. Really,
bigger
really
than
cool.
normal. So, and that invisible jet is nice, because I've seen some smaller versions, but that's one of the bigger versions I've seen, and it turned out really nicely. So then keep moving on down here. You've got the Justice Lego of America here, as opposed to the Justice League. So these are kind of bigger, like maxi-fig types of things, using like normal bricks to build all of these famous characters, tons of cartoon characters.
What a bunch of blockheads.
Pretty much. So you've got Avengers, you've got Star Trek, Star Wars, you can see the Hulk there, Batman, Darth Vader, all sorts of cool builds there. Coming along here, showing off a few more of the big minifigs there. Here's the other side of the AnyLug display. So that's a really nice church there. You've got
nice
several houses.
Lovely color of dark red. Wonderful steeple design there as well. And then we can see that there's a nice looking... I really don't want to say what the structure is, because I myself am having a hard time interpreting it. It could be an official government building, or maybe just a mansion. Who knows? Either way, a wonderful, wonderful structure. And then another lovely home right there as well. In a brown color with a wonderfully designed snot roof, using the bricks as a roof to kind of get a nice little sloping angle and wonderful aesthetics. So, and we can see the sweeping broad curves.
The curves you mentioned earlier, you can see them from a different angle here.
Around to the other side of the layout.
Bring you around to the other side of the layout, give you a good look at the whole thing here. So you can see the AnyLug sign there that they just use.
State of Maine, very nice.
Little train car there. This is a cool little farm. You've got some corn, all sorts of stuff they're growing there. Got the barn, farmhouse.
This might be one of the coolest farmhouses I've seen in a very long time. Just a wonderful kind of tiled roof there to kind of look at like one of those metal roofs, and then some really nice windows with has like a 1x2 tile wedged in between the two studs to kind of look like a pane. That's awesome.
And the barn is great as well.
Awesome.
Yeah,
the roof, are those grill tiles?
Yeah, those are perfect for that barn. That's great. Really, really good job there.
Now, this is the famous BNSF 9-volt Lego train set engine. This is one of those sets that came out for a little bit. Lego made some crazy 9-volt train products to really, really pander towards those train fans out there. Fortunately, there are no longer. But
we enjoyed them while they were here.
Cool to see that.
Here's kind of the bigger skyscrapers, the downtown area, you could say, of the AnyLug display. So there's actually a smaller version of Wonder Woman's jet. And then you've got the big giant blue skyscrapers. This gray building is interesting, like the police station. All sorts of cool little buildings.
These are very nice row houses here. You can see it looks like, you see this a lot. There's like a little like kind of storefront on the bottom there. It's sort of been built in. It looks like it's been built in after the fact or after the original structure was built. That's really cool.
Mm-hmm. And then this blue pyramid is interesting here. I don't know if they just had a lot of extra blue and kind of the clear pieces there, but that's a really interesting build, unique. You don't see that very often. And then a couple of cool buildings here as well. This is almost like a clock tower right here. I think the builder says is the tech tower, so that might actually, I think that's based on something. And then you've got the Burton Tower as well from the University of Michigan, so some real life buildings here. And we'll keep coming down here.
And we have a really nice tan tower here using some wonderful kind of offsets to sort of give those beveled looks that you see in a tower that would be like it. And then a nice clock there. It looks like it might actually be a functioning clock. I do see a gear. But then moving along down here, we see this is the Amtrak Turbo train. So this is a train that Amtrak kind of did a test, like a test with, I guess you could say, when they were trying to determine whether or not or what kind of high-speed train to purchase for the Northeast Corridor. And so they bought this. This is the turbo train. I believe it was diesel powered. I believe it was made by a European manufacturer, but this kind of went around America in like a big testing spree. And so I've never really seen this rendered out in Lego before, but what do you know? A Lego turbo train. Very, very cool.
There you go.
What makes it really notable is the nose. So Lego hasn't really had this element, this curved sort of element for quite some time. This is a very new element right here, but a really cool build. That makes me very happy, if you can't tell.
Very nice train, yeah. So that's the anti-lug display. We'll come over here, another New England related build. This is the map of New England. So this was done, I think, by anti-lug as well. And
what do we have there?
I believe that's the Enfield campus for Lego.
We can see the famous three bricks sort of gently kind of placed on top of each other, around each other. That's a trademark of the Enfield
campus. It's like an earthquake might have come through Enfield recently and toppled a few bricks.
Of course. And then nondescript corporate buildings behind. Very nice.
Naturally. And you've got all sorts of landmarks. You've Plymouth Rock. You've got a lighthouse there in Maine that we actually visited here shortly before the convention. So all sorts of cool little builds here. The Ben & Jerry's truck up there top.
And then you can see Canada is lovingly represented with two polar bears. So the all land ceases to stop beyond the American border there. So very, very nice.
Yeah, so that's a really neat little map that the New England members did. We'll keep bringing you around here to the mosaic builds here. I think they're still setting some of them up, but there are quite number of them that are done already, so really cool mosaics here that we'll make sure to show you. You've got 4 minifig heads here first, so kind of done in a nice square pattern, different colors, very cool. This Batman one, you might have to get a further view back. I'm not sure how easy that is to see, but really, really well done, and using all sorts of colors. You even got some like tan and some pink in there, contrasted with like the black and the blues and greens. Keep going down here. Got some all sorts of cool builds here. All is love and fair and war, so this is an interesting little build here. The love is the theme this year at BrickFair, isn't it?
Yes, so these would be the theme-based, this would be based towards the theme, but this is a lovely build by Byron Winter.
Keep moving down here. This is the wave, so just kind of a simple, almost like a framed photo of a wave here, and done by mosaic style. It's really cool. Like how they did like that brown frame around it. This is a Einstein mosaic that uses, if you can look up close, it uses all little tires with like numbers and letters on it. So the whole thing is put together with that. Once you look back,
I can't imagine, because when you put these tiles down, it's really hard to get a tile off from the middle that you've put down once you've gotten like towards the outside. So perhaps a lot of careful planning was involved before this was created, or there was a lot of arduous putting down of tiles and taking up of tiles. Either way, this sort of kind of blows. It's very not easy, but it's not the most difficult thing in the world to kind of sit with Lego plates in different colors and kind of put them down in a grid layout. But to take printed tile pieces and then make a mosaic. Not only are they outrageously expensive, but just a lot of technical effort, right?
A lot of time went into that for sure. So here's a Triforce mosaic. If you keep going down here to the left, it's from Nintendo's. This is a Legend of Zelda video game series, so if you've played the game, you'll recognize that. There's some lighting there in the background to help give it an extra effect.
And those are cheese slopes, right?
I think so, yeah. That's a really interesting build. I think that's all cheese slopes, so he really packed those in there. You had to make sure those all fit in nicely. finally, this is the number 5 mosaic here. So very nice stuff. We'll bring you back around this way to the trains layout here. So you saw a little bit of the any lug train stuff, but this is kind of the general trains area. Here's Matthew getting up close and personal with them.
This is a Boston Red Line train.
Oh, Boston Red Line train.
So if you've ever been to Boston, you've ever ridden the Red Line, looks just like it. It's red, and they're subway cars. And you can see the little T logo here to the left, leftmost car here. Moving on down. Very nice that they've included the logo there. And then those are some of the older Lego train windows that are no longer in production, I believe. Very, very cool.
And then over here, you've got you want to come around this side real quick. This is an interesting build with kind of 2 large skyscraper type buildings, and in the middle a little tunnel that meets all sorts of different types of pieces. A lot of trans clear window, windshield pieces you use for this, and tiles at the bottom. Some really cool buildings. So then we'll come back around this way, and I think we'll head back through the vendors here so we can then finish up the builds after that. So first, we can talk about this real quick.
This is a very, very cool little layout. It has a nice, you see some parts dumping here with the transclear 1x1 round elements. And then there's a lot of random kind of occurrences going on here. There's a rail car with a giant carrot on it.
It's got a claw farm over here on the left. So this is the cranberries and giant carrots that they have on this farm. So it's a somewhat unique farm. It's owned by the aliens from Toy Story, so you can see the alien in his overalls on the porch there.
They're pulling the carrots out of the ground with a crane, because you need a crane because the carrots are that crazily big, and then a really nice house in the background. So
the aliens seem to be doing pretty good for themselves here on their farm.
The claw farm, and it's a picturesque cranberry farm doing along a rocky stream, owned by the aliens from Toy Story. Wouldn't you know it? That's crazy.
Wow.
You couldn't have guessed it from the build.
Certainly
That's
not.
Awesome. That is very awesome and crazy.
So
we have another play build.
We do have another play build area here. So take you around, see what Matthew can put together here real quick. It looks like there's some stuff already put together here, but we'll see. It can't be another square. I can't imagine he would do that. That would not make any sense. But we'll see what he comes up with. Is it? Maybe we'll see.
I built a square.
Oh no, we had hope for that one, but there it went. Okay, maybe next time. We'll keep coming around this direction. There's kind of the play area. You saw the bingo area in the back. These are some of the games that they have set up to play. So Claw Machine.
Very, very cool games. This you've seen these at previous Brick Fairs, if you've ever seen previous Brick Fairs. But, got Claw Machine, you got little Scooper, and all the other cool little arcade-style games.
Yeah, these might look familiar if you saw our tour of, say, Brick Fair, Virginia. You might have seen some of these. Now, this direction over here here's the sign-in area.
And so one of the things that makes Brick Fair really great is the attention to detail in all of the banners in the facility. So here we see the registration, a full check-in desk. And so you can see the banner here. These are the collectible minifigures. So just really cool graphics to kind of look at while you're here at the convention. A+ on that.
Now here's some of the vendors. On the left you see the Brick Fair memorabilia type of stuff. So this is the shirts and also anything they sell that's like Brick Fair related.
And then we can see some lovely "What Would Jesus Build" t-shirts. So who knows what Jesus would build if he was an AFOL, but maybe he would build a 9-volt train engine, or maybe he would build a Technic bike, or who knows?
Yeah, very nice.
Jesus should have been an AFOL, right?
He probably would be. Probably, I imagine. So keep coming down here. Here's Eclipse Graphics. There's Victor right there, making a cameo appearance.
And so for the first time this year, Victor has brought his machine. Is this the first convention that you've ever brought your machine to, Victor?
Actually, this is the second convention.
What was the first convention that you brought your machine to, Victor?
Philly BrickFest.
Philly BrickFest.
And if I'm not mistaken, this mic flag that you have seen throughout our videos here was actually printed. Was it by this machine? Yes. So this mic flag was printed lovingly by Victor on his wonderful printer.
And so, knowing journalistic integrity, we would never favor Victor in any of our videos because of his positive and beneficial relationship with us.
Never. Actually, I get treated the worst out of everybody they deal with.
We do that on purpose just to make sure we maintain our integrity there. So this is all the Eclipse Graphics booth along here. Over on this side is the Brick Warriors booth. Brick Warriors booth here, so they got their stuff kind of covered up. They're all set up here, ready for the public tomorrow. And then keep coming around this direction. See here's Clone Army Customs. This Brick Crafts. They're setting up here.
Some vendor that has yet to show up apparently is going to be set up here.
And then what is this here? It's just Bricksalotl, I think.
Bricksalotl.
Okay, so all sorts of cool stuff here. Very nice. And then over on the left here, we've got hobbygadgets.com. I think this is kind of lighting and things of that nature. So you can add all sorts of cool lights to your build. And then I think to finish it out for us here, we've got a couple things left. First is this. Matthew, you actually helped set this up, didn't you?
I did. I have the pleasure of setting this up this morning.
Would you like to display how it
This
works?
is a wonderful kind of state fair style game. You get some ping pong balls and you're sort of trying to make it into these little fish tanks that have been filled with marbles to weight them down. So I'm going to take a little bit of pot shots here. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, Matthew's going for it here.
I have no athletic ability or ability to aim anything at anything, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh, very close.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, wow. Wow. This is a little bit difficult, but I think... Oh, so close.
Well, one in and then it came out, so there goes my night.
That's his usual luck there,
Oh well. But this is a wonderful, wonderful convention. Lots of interesting things to see. It's a nice mix of both, builders and vendors and really just everyone. A wonderful, wonderful atmosphere here, I would say, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So finish out then with this table here of a few small assorted creations. So this is kind of a large monster attacking some people in a truck with zombies. And moving down here, Romeo and Juliet, little performance going on. This is... Love is for the Birds, again, kind of the love theme from this year's Brick Fair.
I believe this would be the love section. So
this is the love section then.
So here's an interesting artificial heart model that was made by Andrew Bolthoff. Very, very nice build by Andrew.
And I don't know if you can see there's lights going there too to kind of give it almost a lifelike.
I don't know about you, but every artificial heart I've seen is lit up from the inside.
That's the only way to do it. You got to have that. So keep going here. Just a couple more builds. We got a proposal.
Is that a build by Shiloh Parker? Shiloh Parker built something.
He built a rose mosaic. There you go. Yeah. So you got a build by Shiloh, and then finally, this is celebration. The kind of a skyline in the background, fireworks and things going off, all sorts of cool river with a big, nice micro bridge and stuff. So
I don't know what skyline that's supposed to be representing.
I'm not sure, but
there's a chance that it might be the Manchester skyline, but who knows? I do see that there's a highway bridge, there's a river, there's something that looks like an Autodesk logo over there to the left or to the right, and that might be I don't know, who knows, right?
Yeah, overall, so very cool build though. So you might see we have made it back to the bathrooms, which means we are finished up with this tour.
We are done with this tour. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. We hope you got a little bit of a taste of what BrickFair New England is like.
Mm-hmm. We appreciate you watching and hope you enjoyed all the creations here. We tried to show you everything so you wouldn't miss out on and really experience the convention as much as possible without being here.
Of course.
So thanks for watching, everybody.